everybody, glad to be here today to introduce you to this wonderful bass, the Billabong Bass. It's brand new from Bunyip, and yeah, just had the pleasure of being able to play it over the last week, and I'm really amazed by what it does. It's a locally made bass here in Australia. A couple of the standard specs, things like the weight. As many of you may or may not know, I'm a professional bass player, so I've got a few basses, different sizes for different settings. One thing that's constant between all of them is that they're really heavy. You know, as bass players, you've got to have a pretty strong back and great posture and all the rest of it. So this is the Billabong Bass, made here in Brisbane, Australia, and it's a beautiful example of a working bassist bass. It only weighs 2,600 grams, which is 5 pounds and 11 ounces in the old language. It's made from foxglove tone wood, which helps to produce some of the best tones, most diverse tones. They're a really easy bass to hold for long periods of time, or just for practice at any time. They don't add any stress to your body. So clearly from the visuals, it's hand cut and shaped body. So it's not your standard run-of-the-mill bass production process, but it's lovingly treated by the owners. It's a maple neck that's hand carved also. Got a 20 nickel silver 530 frets, so that means that you're going to get an excellent life out of the frets. They're very responsive to the strings, so whether you tone them in for a nice bright slap and other sorts of genres like that, you're going to get the full range of sounds. So here we've got Shaler machine heads, which, if you know anything about machine heads, have a great reputation in the industry. This bass stays in tune. I think I had it a week ago, and I know it's been gigged since then, so maybe 1 or 2 tunes in between, and today as we've come to do this little demo, they're still in tunes. So much to say. So for all of the electronics geeks, I can tell you that these Bunyip pickups, they are a matched pair, and they are both wound at 8K each. Not to go into too much detail, but if you know anything about the scales of responsiveness and what your standard Fenders and others that you just pick up in your stores are wound at, it's very, very different. So these ones are wound at 8K each, which allows for a lot of balance and stability and sound. When you're toning for different songs, you're going to have plenty of headroom and ability to be able to punch in the sound that you're looking for. So this is a first for me as well, continuing to talk about the electronics. I believe this is the first bass in the series for Bunyip. They are a guitar company that's operated for years, have a great reputation in so many different areas of music. And so this being the bass, it's got some of the influence with the switches. So here we have a 6-way pickup selector switch that has a few really special features that I haven't seen on guitars either. So it's 6 positions. So if we start at the bottom here, we have the standard setup for your bass. It's got your bridge pickup for the higher tones here, and then in the middle you have your standard mixing of the 2 sets of pickups, and then you have your forward pickup. So they'd sound like versus. So you can hear more of the body and more of the neck pickup, and then very, very bassy, which is great for a bass player. So the 3 positions in going up, obviously backwards, fantastic. So then from this position here, which is after the first 3, so we have our bridge pickup, the mix of the bridge and the neck pickups, and then the neck pickup. And then if you switch it towards yourself from that position, you have the pickups in series and in phase, which sounds like this. Marcus Miller fans, you're going to get a lot of value out of that, because obviously his sound is a very large round one. You want lots of pop at the top, but it's remaining integral with the bass. The next switch going downwards, out of phase, in series. So the difference in sound is this. It's a rounder sound, so rather than having to adjust the knobs all the time, you'd have a rounder sound. It's almost like having presets, to be honest. The sound you can instantly dial in, just know which of the 6 positions you want to be in. Because I'm not having to touch the tone, the volume knobs for either one of the pickups at this moment, which is great. So it's a slightly rounder sound than in phase, and then finally at the bottom switch, which is the 6th position, we have a parallel outer phase, which again is just another sound that you're going to be able to employ. This has plenty of highs and takes out most of the bass. So in a situation where you might be going through a pedal or some other thing where you got a variance in sound, you'll be able to dial those settings in previously, and this allows then for you just to be able to play the top if you're playing a solo, and then to instantly dial it back in by the matter of a switch. So I think that's excellent. So, as if that wasn't enough, we've got CTS pots on the master volume and the master tone controls. Again, along the lines of the tuners here, it's to keep the quality standards up. It's really beyond what you get in your standard run-of-the-mill bass from your local music shop. This is something that's been procured and put together with intention. So you can hear that in the tone, you'll be able to feel it in your playing. It comes with a gig bag. If we're just looking at spec for spec, apples for apples, you'd be looking at a bass of about $3,000, I would say, and I bought a few over the time. So I would say give us a chance. I want to play a little bit and let you hear some of the different tones that we can get out of it, and hopefully you're going to be able to enjoy some of the time that I've been able to have with this beautiful bass. Thank you.